Hi, my name is Angus Iglesias, and I am going to be presenting today on Cat5e cabling and how to make a patch cord for the server room or for any other use around the office that comes up. So I'm previously a network field technician that would go out to sites and install services that would use Cat5e cabling, and I would have to either make a custom-made patch cord for the customer, or I would have to make it for connectivity between a switch and a router. It all depends on what we installed that day. So the reasons that I feel you should need to know how to use a Cat5e cabling and know how to make a patch cord is because there's a lot of different things and issues that come up around the office that you would need to know this for. So in your situation, have you ever had an employee come up to you saying that they lost connectivity to the internet, and then come to find out that they have a broken pin on the end of their RJ45 modular plug that is connected to, obviously, the patch cord cable? And then you have to go ahead and either go buy one from the store, which is way too long for their little short run from their computer to the wall mount, or you have to, go ahead and buy a whole bunch so you have some in stock. Instead of doing that, you could go ahead and make your own custom patch cord cable, having your own RJ45s, and these other props that I have here, but you could use them as your tools within your server room. You're going to have a pair of snips, some crimpers, RJ45 modular plugs, and obviously some Cat5e cabling. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you how to make a RJ45 modular end plug for the patch cord, for a patch cord cable. And then I'm also going to introduce an Ethernet crossover cable that you would use in different situations. Like I have right here, I have a Cisco 1721, older Cisco router with a switch. So before auto sensing came around, where they could just plug in a regular patch cord cable and it would sense to switch the connectivities, you would have to make a Ethernet crossover cable or purchase them. And you would plug them into the Ethernet port from the Cisco into the switch's Ethernet port. And you would need a crossover Ethernet cable or else it won't work. So let's go ahead and get started. Excuse me. Let's go ahead and get started with learning how to make a patch cord cable. So you want to take your snips. Be very careful with these snips because these things can cut very easily into something else, like a person's hand. I've seen it before where somebody cut their hand and they had to get stitches, and it all depends on how bad you cut your hand and how many stitches you need, or you'll just have a lot of blood all over the place. So you have your pair of snips. Go ahead and cut the sheathing right here. You're going to cut a little bit right here. Okay. Going to go ahead and cut the other side to cut the whole sheathing off. Be very careful you don't cut the wiring. Actually, right here you just want to be very careful you don't cut the pull string. So you want to go ahead and make another little slice right here. Go ahead and get the pull string and pull it back. The reason I'm pulling it down so far is to make sure that I'm going to be using the wiring within the sheathing that doesn't have any type of slice or cut inside the wiring. So pull back the sheathing, get the wiring, go ahead and cut this off. I want to go ahead and make sure you trim around the wiring as well, because when you put the RJ45 modular plug on, you want to make sure it's as secure as possible. After that, go ahead and trim the wiring. So now you want to go ahead and just start untwisting the pairs. We'll go ahead and put them in the order after we untwist them. Okay, so the order that we're going to go ahead and put them in is white orange, orange, white green, solid blue, white blue, solid green, white brown, and brown. And now that you have all of them in the order, go ahead and use your index finger as backing right there. Bring them all together and go ahead and tighten them together. So now, what you want to do is get your RJ45 plug and have that ready, so when you trim all the excess wiring, you have that ready to go ahead and slide the wiring into the RJ45. So go ahead and trim it right here. Get your RJ45 plug. Go ahead and put them into the pins of the RJ45. Make sure that you push in as much as possible. And then what you could do is go ahead and verify that you can see the copper ends of the wiring at the end of the pin right here. Go ahead and get your crimpers. You're going to put them into the RJ45 slot, not the RJ11. There's two slots on here on your crimpers that you'll have, RJ11 and RJ45. Put in the RJ45 slot. Push it in as much as you can. Go ahead and crimp it securely and tightly. The reason you want to do it tightly is because after you crimp it, you want to make sure and tug on it that it doesn't come off and it's not loose. So now you have one end of a patch cord cable, and that's the straight through end, okay? Like I was saying earlier, for a crossover, an Ethernet crossover cable, there's a different pin out for that, okay? So if you want to make a regular straight through patch cord cable, you do the same exact thing on the other end of the Cat 5e cabling. And then you'll have one regular straight through patch cord. So right now what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and I'm going to show you really quick how to make an Ethernet crossover cable. So one end's a regular straight through. We'll go ahead and put that actually in the Ethernet port of the Cisco, okay? And then, once again, we'll go ahead and trim this out. Once you do it quite a bit of times, you'll become quicker. And you won't be cutting the wiring while you do it. So right here, we're going to go ahead and untwist the pairs. And then we'll put them in the order that they're supposed to be for an Ethernet crossover cable. Excuse me. So the pin out for this, what you're going to do is you're going to put them in the correct order now. So what you want to do is you put a white green, solid green, white orange, solid blue, white blue, solid orange, white brown, and brown. Go ahead and bring it all together here. Make sure it's all tight. And then you're going to go ahead and step back, get your snips, trim the wiring, get your RJ45 modular plug, push it in securely, get your crimpers, correct slot, and crimp it tightly. So now you have the Ethernet crossover cable. Go ahead and put that inside your switch port, and you should be in business from that point on. Okay? So the reason that I wanted to teach you how to make an Ethernet crossover cable or a regular straight through patch cord cable is because this is not only going to benefit you as an employee, as an IT technician, to help other employees get back connected to the internet, but it's also going to help the company as a whole. And it's going to benefit them because they're not going to have to make big purchases on bulk orders for patch cord cables, or you're not going to have an oversized length patch cord cable where you just need a small connection. So right here, if you wanted to make a custom one, you can make it really short so you don't have all this excess leftover cabling. So that is why I wanted to teach you how to make a patch cord cable or an Ethernet crossover cable. Thank you very much.